What's up, family? It's your girl, Nathalie Nelson Parker, and welcome to another edition of World Changer Wednesday, where we're talking about real people who are making a real impact, and we have part 2 with the amazing team. And today we're going to talk about digital presence. A lot of times when people think about branding and marketing, they think logo, website, social media. But we've learned as we've been working with, whether it's graduate schools, whether it's cities, whether it's mid to large organizations who have to pivot or launch something new, that it's more than that, right? That's one step. And so we're gonna dive into all of our expertise to help you figure out what is your next move and what is the best way for you to make an impact in your nonprofit or your small business. So let's start with this. And I want to kick it off to you, AJ, because we just came off of a major project where we had to do a lot of grassroots, but thank God we did it. Over 1,000 people were engaged, and we were able to exceed our goal. Can you talk a little bit about, so in terms of what we had to do, we had to create a website, we had to create a training, we had to engage over almost 100 people to get boots on the ground for this project. Can you talk about how the system we put in place made an impact for us to reach that goal? And here's the key. This goal has never been done before. So it really is like we're a part of making history. And our team did the majority or the percentage of reaching that goal. Can you talk a little bit about that in terms of what you do as a leader and a strategic partner?
So it took a lot of systems to really make it effective and be efficient, right? It was not just about talking to the people and getting them to go out and do the work, but we had to systematically manage everyone and how that even happened, from the training that was done, where we was able to leverage some AI components, where it came to the communications with every piece of that project, whether it was an app that we used, the emails that constantly went out, the text messages that went out. It was all about making sure that it reached you wherever you are, and you had everything that you need to be equipped to do the job. And so I think the biggest piece is having Tuella on the team, who makes sure that operationally everything is sound, is functional. And it made it, a lot of people, even talk to me about how easy it was to stay updated with what was going on, to be informed about where to get this or to get that, easy ways for different team members to engage throughout that entire process. And so I think having the systems being sound and the back end being of great importance made the job easy.
Yeah, and I think that's so important, because a lot of people are like, all right, I'm gonna put up this website and then the people are gonna come. But when the people come, what they gonna do? And right, so taking the time to think that through and to develop the back end. So let's take a little deeper dive into the systems, because AJ is shouting out Tuella, but we was getting on her nerves. So when we come to you and you're like, we want to engage 1,000 people in 23 communities and 99 neighborhoods, and we want to do all of this different things. Can you kind of talk about, because you do this with me, you slow me down to think about, okay, what's step 1? They come to the website, and then what? What's step 2? Can you kind of just talk us through that for someone who's like, okay, that's a good question, but I don't even know what the next step should be?
So a lot of times what people do is they think about what they want, they don't think about who's coming to the site. So the journey is for the customer, right? So think about when the customer does A, what should happen next? What do you want to happen next? But also what should happen on their end. So even when we're looking for software and we're looking for apps and we're looking for all these different things, it's always, what do you want the customer to experience next?
I love that.
And that's what happens. So how I slow you down is saying, okay, yes, we want all of this, but what do we want the experience for the end user to be?
Yeah.
And then we build it out from there.
And I think that's so good, especially for someone like me where I'm like, what's the impact? All right, we got to reach 1,000 people. Like, I start at the end, and you like, let's go back to the beginning.
Let's go back. Let's start.
Let's start there and work their way through. And Kia, we've been keeping you busy. Listen, shout out to all of our clients that are coming in, doing rebrands, doing marketing, launching new programs, launching new courses. You've been really helpful with a graduate school that we're working with in helping with the brand consistency. And there's so many different brands, right? When you're dealing with a graduate school, you have different programs, you have different events, there's just so much. Can you talk a little bit about how we've been able to do all of the big things, right? Logos, social media, but the impact it's made in the long run, especially as we see it with the school that's launching and basically like from the ground up.
Right. It's not just about the events and the actual graduate school, but who is actually coming to this graduate school and who they're going to be speaking to when they leave that place. So it's more important to make sure that, again, about community and bringing people together and making sure that the impact is as big as possible. From changing their social media to even spearheading a full scholarship conference.
Oh yeah, that
and just completely overhauling it and taking it over and making it so grand and so nice, and it was amazing to see the amount of people that came in and were so taken aback by our impact and how much we were able to change their perspective of their conference. So
I love that. I think that's the best thing about our work, is helping clients to go beyond what they thought was possible.
When we do these events, and I think the impact we have for a lot of these clients is they never thought these things were possible until we step in and we're like, we need an event here. And then we have the event and it increases the impact and their reach. And then they're like, I see why we needed an event now. I see why we needed these things. And then with the branding, what we've done is we create micro brands. Like what you did with the school was you did micro brands that somehow, I don't know how, but it carried over, like they all mirrored each other somehow.
But that's the importance of your branding, right? Making sure that it is cohesive and it can talk to everybody and everything.
So all the micro brands still
have their individual identity.
They were still individual, but still spoke to the overarching brand.
Yeah.
And then we even had one of our people say, because you had the brand guide, it made it so much easier to do ABC because you already had these things set up in place that they could easily follow what the brand is.
Yeah.
So I think that's...
You know what I love too? And I think it's just because of how we all operate in our superpower. I love that whether it's a graduate school, whether it's a city, whether it's an initiative, whether it's an event, whether it's marketing, we got real numbers.
We do.
We do. Like, that gala raised over $100,000.
Yep.
Their recruitment almost doubled, you know? Like, so it's not just the what we're doing, it's why we're doing it and the impact behind it. We're gonna end with AJ because we had to step in and do an event.
Oh no.
AJ, can you talk a little bit about, listen, let me tell you what, we say was boots on the ground. Boots on the ground. We were at in newspapers, we were on radio stations. Can you talk about, when we say we're impact marketers, can you talk about the impact that we've made here with that initiative and what that event did for the city? Because a lot of people had a lot of different things to say, and I know that you have your ears to the streets.
So I would say there was a sounding alarm of how efficient you were in that entire process. a lot of people have the name or have the work, the clients, but oftentimes the work falls through the cracks. But every step of the way, you were very efficient and effective at everything that you did. And so I think having a team that is very driven in their own areas and very proficient in those areas really make you and the work that you do look really good, because the city hasn't seen something like this done in the way that it was done. And it's mostly credited to you because you were the front-facing person that people saw, along with myself, in the videos, commercials, and all that good stuff.
He was outside. He's always outside, but he was really outside.
But the big part was having, I can sum it up in 3 words. It was all about the experience, it was all about the systems, and it was all about the engagement. So having those 3 components really made everything that we did make sense and just gave it a cohesive experience for the people. Like, everything that we did made the people really look at things from a different lens than what we usually see here in the city. And so I think just being extremely driven and passionate about the work that you do drives everything that you see visually.
I love it. All right, let's do a nugget for the day. Okay, so 1 word or 1 sentence for that nonprofit or small business leader that's like, I want a digital presence. Digital presence. I want to make an impact. I want these numbers you're talking about. Give them 1 nugget that they can walk away with.
You want me to go first?
Yeah.
Focus on one thing. Do that one thing until you can automate it, and then move on to something else.
Love it.
Remember that your social media presence is not for everyone. It's for the people that you're serving. It's not for everybody. Just remember that.
So don't try to be everything.
Yeah, you can't be everything.
Focus in on your ideal audience. I love that.
Start where you are with what you have and max out.
And I'm gonna say, call us. We got you.
Got it.
That's it, y'all. Thank you so much for being a part of World Changing Wednesday. We love and appreciate you. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe, and we see you on the other side.